The Bloody Baron's fortress in Velen stands as a grim symbol of his oppressive rule. Historical records suggest it was inspired by medieval warlord strongholds, where public executions were used to instill fear. The game mirrors this with hanged corpses at the gates, a direct nod to 15th century European warlords like Vlad the Impaler. CD Projekt Red confirmed they studied feudal punishment methods to design this environment. Before becoming a lord, the Baron was a mercenary leader, a detail inspired by real historical figures like Sir John Hawkwood. Declassified developer notes reveal his backstory parallels 14th century condottieri who sold their swords to the highest bidder. The Burning Village flashback mirrors accounts of Hawkwood's massacre at Cesena in 1377, where his men slaughtered civilians indiscriminately. The Baron's abuse of his wife Anna and daughter Tamara reflects medieval marital violence, documented in texts like the 13th century Decretum Gratiani. Game files show his character was partly modeled after Gilles de Rais, a French nobleman who tortured his wife. The locked door, symbolizing Tamara's absence, references actual 15th century confinement practices for rebellious noble women. A stillborn fetus monster, Lubberkin, stems from Slavic folklore about Poronias, spirits of unbaptized children. Developers admitted borrowing from 16th century alchemist Paracelsus's notes on homunculi creation. The jar's design matches artifacts found in Prague's alchemy museums, particularly Emperor Rudolf II's occult experiments in 1580s. The Baron's pact with the Crones mirrors historical accounts of nobles consulting witches, like King Henry VI's dealings with Alice Purrs. Cut content reveals the Crones' original dialogue referenced the 1486 Malleus Maleficarum witch-hunting manual. Their swamp altar's design was based on excavated pagan shrines near Wrocław, Poland, dating to the 9th century. Velen's famine-stricken villages reflect actual 14th century economic records from the Hundred Years' War. Developers studied tax rolls from Burgundy, 1360 to 1380, to design the in-game economy. The Baron's grain hoarding mirrors real feudal lords like Enguerrand de Coucy, whose stockpiling caused the 1349 Paris famine. Peasants' tattered clothing replicates museum-preserved garments from the period. Geralt's interrogation techniques mirror 15th century inquisitorial methods documented in the Carolina Code of 1532. The developers included subtle clues like the Baron's twitching left eye when lying, based on Renaissance-era truth detection manuals. The hall's architecture replicates Wawel Castle's interrogation chambers, where Polish nobles questioned traitors. The hanging suicide ending references multiple historical warlord deaths, particularly the 1389 demise of Serbian ruler Lazar Hrbeljanovich. Deleted dialogue revealed the Baron's last words were adapted from a 14th century French noble's suicide note. The tree's twisted shape was modeled after the Tyburn tree gallows in medieval London, where nobles were executed. The redemption path with daughter Tamara reflects rare historical reconciliations, like Holy Roman Emperor Henry IV's 1098 reunion with his son. Developers studied illuminated manuscripts depicting such events to animate their horseback ride. The sunset's color palette replicates pigments used in 12th century Chanson de Roland illustrations. The aftermath scenes draw from chronicles of post-warlord societies, like Italy after Visconti's 1402 death. Whether the Baron lives or dies, Velen remains trapped in cyclical violence, a concept inspired by historian Mark Bloch's feudal society. The burning effigy replicates peasant revolts depicted in the 1462 Chronicle of Jean de Venette.